Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the Ruike P865. First off, I want to thank my buddy over at Indiana Knives. He's a local knife dealer over in Bloomington, Indiana, and he donated 5 different knives from Ruike, whatever, here to the channel. In exchange for when I'm done, I just need to do a giveaway to support ALS research. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, brutal freaking disease, and so if we can do something to help defeat it, then that's absolutely great. Size comparison, not a small knife. Coming in here next to the Spyderco Rat 1 in D2 steel. Absolutely. That's a serious knife. Then here it is against the Rat 2. So you can see here, this is not small. And in fact, blade length-wise, we are coming in here at a little bit over 3.5 inches, which is a serious blade length here. Then finally, a quick note on this company. This is apparently pronounced rake in the pinyin writing system for Chinese using Roman characters. That's problematic because these are people who are not related to Ruike knives. Yeah, but anyways, it is what it is. But they are a company that are owned by Phoenix Flashlights, or at least they're the same company. And then these are made by San Renmu Knives, who tend to do pretty decent work over there. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly of this very interesting little knife right here. So, on the good side, to start with, it's running on washers. Now, look, I like bearings. Bearings are great. They can offer a lot of goodness to it. But the thing is, a good knife that's running on washers... What the heck is going on? Oh, empty in the dumpster. Cute. Anyways, Okay, shut the window. A knife that's running on bearings tends to be a little bit more of a diva. It's easy for that to clog up and such, but this makes this a little bit more robust. And so I am kind of a fan of that. I wish they'd used full phosphor bronze washers, but it is kind of a thing. And I do like that very much. Speaking of robustness, this guy has full liners. The inside of this knife, as you'll see in the disassembly, is entirely liners. There are also G10 scales on the outside of it, but it's a reasonably well-built knife, and I do appreciate that. Next thing, this guy is very easy to carry, partly because it is very thin, which is nice, and just profile-wise. I mean, here it is against Spyderco. See here that it is only marginally larger than the Delica on the length dimension and is smaller on every other dimension. Given the fact that the pocket clip also cants off to the side, very easy to just kind of slide into the pocket. And then weight-wise, this is super lightweight. We're coming in here at 2.49 ounces for 3.5 inches of blade. Whoa! That's impressive, so that's good. Next thing, this has a very nice deployment. As you probably see in here, every time I open this guy with this thumb stud, all it takes, because it's got a well-dialed-in dent, is a very little bit of force, and then that guy just flies open. This is unassisted, but it is absolutely reliable to deploy, and the thumb stud that it's using is out of the slicing path. That's really, really nice. This is super, super reliable. I like that a lot, and closing it is pretty easy, too, because they've made a little mill here, a little cutout, to allow easy access to this nice jimped lock bar here, which just... yeah. So this is really well done in terms of action. It's not necessarily false shutty, but it's smooth enough, and you know what? No problem with that. And then finally on the price side, it's a great price. It's $35. $35 is a price where they can afford to get a lot of things wrong, and they haven't really gotten a lot of things wrong here. So, yeah, that to me is the good here, is it's got a great price, a good, reliable action, a robust overall construction with the washers and the full liners, easy to access liner lock, and it's very, very easy to carry. So, there you go. On the great side, to me, is the blade. I like this blade a lot for a couple of reasons. To start with, I love a Wharncliffe style blade. This tends to be very helpful for a lot of different kinds of cutting, but specifically if you're doing like draw cuts, something like that. Or if I'm like cutting into foam, acoustic foam or something like that, this is just brilliant. Makes it very easy to get up in there, and that's just absolutely great. It's not the best, cut for a lot of things. I mean, if I'm doing food prep, this is not really my ideal choice here, but it is a really nice Wharncliffe blade, and Wharncliffe blades are a little bit more rare in the community, so it's good to see a nice one, especially at a budget side. And then the blade is also, by the way, not super thick. It's ground relatively thinly, and the steel on it is 14C28N. Which is one of those budget steels that I like seeing, because it's among the best of the budget steels. So that's a really nice blade, and to me that's what's great here, is that this just has a really, really nice blade. So there you go. On the great, And now the whole freaking trash truck drives over here. Guys, I'm trying. On the bad side, this guy is unfortunately still using numbers, not names. The P865. Now look, the only reason I know that number is because I just looked at it on the back of the knife. That's a really ugly thing. Why could this have not gotten an actual name, even if it's completely freaking gibberish? I mean, all they need to do is open up like a guide to animals and then pick something. You know, this could be the Ruike hummingbird. No, I'm sorry, the Ruike hummingbird is already a thing. The Rake, let's see, the Rake penguin. Here you go, Rake. This is the penguin. And now the thing is, now that it's got a name, people can remember it nicely and easily. I'm just tired of number-based names, and Rake hasn't figured that out yet. Next thing, this is a knife that is going to be a little scary to a lot of people. It's coming in at 3.5 inches of full-on pointy-tipped Wharncliffe blade. This is a blade that I would affectionately refer to as a murdery blade, in that you're going to take this out of your pocket and people are going to get scared by it just because it looks a little scary. So, if you are in a place where your lunchroom is not necessarily so welcoming to this kind of thing, be careful. Next thing, the backspacer on this guy. I highlighted this during the disassembly, but hopefully you can see it here. Yeah, right there. You can see that the backspacer has these two, standoff Chicago screwy kind of things coming through it, but the backspacer is actually breaking down on the inside around those, which means that over time that could continue to break down and eventually break the backspacer free, and that's not great. It's just kind of a little cut corner in the build that I didn't enjoy seeing. Then finally, the biggest cut corner on this build is that it is using those weird half plastic, half Teflon washes, or half plastic, half bronze. Like they're using these little tiny slivers of phosphor bronze washer on top of big chunks of plastic. And look, the thing is, I'm not a knife maker. I don't know what their margins look like and whatnot, but the thing is, how much more expensive is it to use real washers, people? I mean, seriously. Why would it kill you to just use actual phosphor bronze? The action would be better. It would tune better over time. It's just, no. Why are you doing this, guys? And so to me, that's what's bad here, is that it's using the plastic washes. Even on a budget knife, that annoys me a little bit, and especially like with these micro fit. Anyways, I digress. The backspacer is breaking down around the screws. It is super lunchroom, not safe. You know, people are going to get scared by it, and they're using numbers rather than names, and come on, guys. On the ugly front, to me, unfortunately, the ergonomics on this knife are just off. And the big issue is the pocket clip here. Unfortunately, Ruike is not a company that has quite gotten to the point where they're doing clips well. They're using a lot of San Renmu parts, which is fine. I mean, that's probably what's cheap. But this, unfortunately, was not the best choice here, because it's got this little area that sticks right up and points right up into your hand here. And then, unfortunately, because the rest of the thing is stick-like, your hand wraps very nicely around this side, and then it's a stick with a big protuberance off the back of it here. Not a great choice. And so for me, ultimately, ergonomically speaking, the clip kind of killed this knife for me. I think they could have done a clip that was a little bit better, particularly had they put a flat area at the end of the clip, like, for instance, on this guy, the Rat 1. That would have made things easier. But that, to me, was a big ergonomic deal breaker, and to me, that's ugly, is that the clip on this guy just wasn't well fit to the knife, and as a result, ergonomically, it just doesn't work. Maybe it's better for some folks, but yeah, not for me. Final conclusions-wise, look, this is a pretty nice knife in some ways. I'm absolutely a fan of it. It's got a robust build, a warty blade. It's easy to carry. The warty thing is still kind of unusual, I'll be honest with you. There aren't really that many Wharncliffe-style knives out there in the world, especially, at this kind of a budget price point. I mean, they were out there. You can get like a Hinderer XM18, but yeah, it's like $500. So I think it's nice that that's out there. And the price on it is good. $35 is just a great price. And I love seeing Ruike, oh, guys, your name is killing me. Ruike knives, doing a lot of stuff down at this price point, which is pretty accessible to a lot of people. It is absolutely still going to inspire some terror in the lunchroom, that's for sure. It is running on the plastic under there. Those things I can live with. The thing that really bothers me here is the ergos, is this clip. To me, it's very personal. Maybe you're going to hold it and you're going to love it. Maybe it's going to slot in just perfectly. But the thing is, I kind of doubt it. And so I think this guy might work a little bit better without a clip. Frankly, if you would have just like take the clip, use it as a spacer plate, break the other part off, and put it in a sheath or something, this would probably be a great choice, ergonomically speaking. But for me, at least in the hand, for long-term cutting, it's just not doing it. And so, honestly, I kind of don't know what to tell you here. It is a nice knife. There is a lot to love, unlike with that freaking trash truck that, oh my God, guys. There's a lot to love about this guy. But honestly, I don't know that I recommend it. Just because of that ergonomic stuff. I mean, if it fit my hand, maybe, but it is what it is. You're gonna look at it. You're gonna figure out. I love the look of this. I love the price of this. Yeah, so for this price, I don't know what to tell you. I hope it's better in your hands than in mine. But there is a lot to love here, and, ultimately you may just have to go to a store, handle one, ideally, and then see, yeah, it works. No, it doesn't. Or you take the chance. In worst case, you're at $35. So there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you, that you Ruike'd this review or raked it. That makes it sound like raking it. Anyways. And that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.